Hello, Mr. Sparks.
Hello.
So I'm here today to interview you a little bit about topics around sustainability, your experience, as well as also what your opinions are and how you feel towards it. So first, would you like to introduce yourself? Yeah.
Okay, I'm Chris Sparks. I teach maths and I am in charge of sustainability in the middle school here. And what else do you need to know? Is that enough?
Yeah, that's good. So my first question is because I also know that you used to be a middle school sustainability coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your previous backgrounds in sustainability? Like, I know that's one of them. Is there any other things that you have done?
Yeah, I've been doing gardening activities in schools since well, for quite a long time, since like 2008 or something like that. All those different schools I've worked at, we've had a gardening club where we've learned about growing vegetables in Thailand, Bali, Taiwan, and now here in Singapore. So I've always done that. And I've always thought it's important to pay attention to the fact that we're changing the climate and the way we live. And I feel that getting outside and playing with nature is a good way to get students to care more about the environment.
So do you think that students right now care about it from what you can see in our school right now?
In our school, I don't think it's a priority among the student community all that much, but I know that there are some students who do care and they're really interested in finding out what they can do to help.
Yeah. So you said you did some gardening activities in other countries like Thailand and Vietnam. Were you personally there, or was it like a project?
Yeah, it was me, just like I do here. We after school, any students that want to take part, we go and see what we can grow. Yeah, in Thailand we did some growing rice with the local helpers helped us made a rice field, and we harvested and ate the rice, which was really good. In Taiwan we got lots of vegetable food in and had parents come and help cook it. So yeah, nice things.
That's nice. So because it's not always like students' priority, how do you think that we could change that so that it is their priority? Because it's very important, like, to protect the environment and to care for it.
Yeah.
So obviously now, because of IB and all of the things that go on in students' lives, they tend to forget. So do you think there's like a way, or maybe you've seen a way of like reintroducing it into there?
I think it's a very difficult thing to do with while school is still like it is at the moment, and the system is still as it is, and all about having to learn a certain amount of stuff to pass exams to go on a path you want to go on. It's very difficult to find the time. So in a way what we do is we find the time in advisory and after school and lunch times to do things, but to put it into the main school curriculum is very difficult. I think our school's doing a little bit. We're doing a systems transformation course. They're doing a UWCSEA perspectives course in grades 9 and 10 where it will give us a little bit more time to do it. But as for making the big change, I don't think it can just be about the school. It has to come from the community and the parents as well. And if the parents don't also feel that this is a big issue, then their children aren't likely to either, no matter what we do here.
Yeah. So from the current, so we do have like systems transformation and also like after school activities like Incredible Edibles and all the other services. So how would you measure the success of these services in school? And what particular approaches from your experience have you found most effective?
I don't know how you'd measure them. I think you just keep on going with the message and talking to as many people as possible. I think one of the good things that happens in our school is the Grade 5 Expo. And I think the more we can harness the energy coming out of that, where all the students understand all of the topics, if we could build on that instead of letting it kind of die off, that would be a really good thing to do. We see successes in the small activities we do, like say the gardening or some student leadership roles where students organise and go to assemblies. In fact, we've got some young middle school students talking to the board this afternoon about the things that they've been doing for sustainability.
Oh, wow.
But a lot of it just depends on getting together with a group of students who are all really engaged and really proactive. And when you get that combination, you can do all sorts of good things. So the more opportunities we give for like-minded students and teachers and parents to get together and do positive things, the better.
Yeah. So, what are some of the most impactful sustainability initiatives that you have led or implemented? And I know you said Expo was one of them. Expo was quite a big one. But is there anything that particularly maybe you have done or initiated that is quite successful in terms of sustainability?
Yeah, I mean, Expo is done by the grade 5 teachers, so that's not me. Personally, I just try and do my bit. I don't really like to think about it being about my achievement.
Yeah.
I have done my not protest, but my standing around at lunchtime for about 4 years now, and I think that's had more of an impact than not doing it. So I've had conversations with student groups. It's made some student groups also join and get together, and we have conversations about it, and the students can see that there is something going on in the community. So I think that although it seems like a very lonely job, it has an impact. And then just keeping on running the groups and talking to the students about nature. In the middle school, we have lessons that they have a few times a year where they go and learn about how to spot butterflies and how to tell dragonflies and just engage with nature, or they learn about World War Today or World Pulsars Day, grade 8 did recently. So just doing little bits and pieces wherever we can find the time. And we, in a way, any teacher doesn't tend to see the impact of what they do, because you guys go off and then do things that may or may not have been impacted by things that happened at school. So we don't know, we just hope that some people out there are doing something positive, and it was maybe impacted by what you did when they were at school.
So when you stood outside the Tent Plaza and you have the poster, is that something that you wanted to do, or was it something that you particularly, was it from your own interest to do that?
Partly, it was actually my daughter did grades 11 and 12 here, and she did the first one. She made the old sign and did on one of the early days when Fridays for Future was happening around the world. And so she did it a couple of times. And after she left, I guess decided to do it as well. I felt like our school, I think I was kind of surprised that a school with a mission like this didn't have students rising up like they do, like you see around the world in various places. And I thought, well, if we as teachers think it should be part of the community, then we should model it.
Yeah.
So I said, well, if I think that it'd be good for students to do it, then I ought to do it myself as well. So
yeah.
I do. And sometimes they join, and sometimes they just stop and chat. But even if just one person stops and had a chat, well, maybe that's one difference that's been made.
Yeah, a little difference is also quite a one person can create a big difference as well, because it keeps spreading. Yeah,
hope so.
Good question. How do you see, and I know it's a very different type of question, but how do you see environmental challenges influence the global systems today? This is a much broader question. So the challenges that we have environmentally, how does this impact the global systems?
Well, I don't really know. I think that when you look at the world, you feel like people are going around and carrying on as they were. Big industries and companies are carrying on doing similar things. So I'm not totally sure how it's impacting. I'm not really in that world. I do. Part of me thinks that big change doesn't happen until the impacts of climate change really start to force big change to happen. And that'll be a long time, because the first people who get impacted by climate change will be the poor people.
Yeah.
So that still won't impact the people who make all the decisions. So I don't know. I mean, I think there are definitely good companies and good people in good companies who think it's an issue. I don't have enough knowledge of what's going on out there to know how big an impact it's having.
I think it also comes down to a bit of decision making as well, and how you can see sustainability kind of come out in the decisions that people make, or big industries in the global systems make. So my next question would be how do you approach decision making while keeping sustainability in mind as well?
Well, I think like doing the right thing for the planet and sustainability is just kind of naturally doing the right thing. So I think as long as you make decisions which you feel are the right thing to do, and one way of doing that, I suppose, is to look at your conscience and see if your conscience is comfortable with what you're doing. Try not to harm anyone or anything in what you're doing. Replace what you use. Have as little impact as possible. I guess try and be thoughtful about what you're doing as much as possible. Then we ought to have a more peaceful and sustainable future, right? Which is what our school says.
Thank you for your time, and yeah, that's the end of the interview.
My pleasure.